There's Allmendinger.
He's laying, he's laying back. He's lifting off the throttle well before start-finish line, letting the thing coast down, doing what he can do from behind the wheel. But boy, he's got a long way to go to make up that much fuel mileage.
As TK said, this stage of the game, you are mentally exhausted. Did they make a mistake, or were they confident of their fuel mileage? The car had to come to a complete stop. It was going to take that mechanic a couple of seconds to clear out the radiator, so there's no loss by topping it, or it would have literally been topping him up.
In my eyes, even if he makes it, it's a mistake either way, because it was something that was given to you that you didn't take.
Calvin, you keep talking about the delta down pit road, so 30 to 35 seconds just to drive down it, 5 seconds of fuel at the most. And then you've got to consider the decel on the way in and the run out of pit lane. So what are you thinking the delta needs to be between first and second, or what have you? How close do you need to be to take advantage of the person in front of you if they fuel?
Well, I mean, you want to be inside of that so you at least gain the track position. So for Max Angelelli, he knows that he needs to keep this within 30 seconds. Right now it's about half that margin. So if Montoya hits pit lane and Max doesn't, the advantage goes to Max. I don't think Montoya's got enough time to get that gap back.
Well, and then the next question is, if you know you need it, when do you come and get it? The sooner you come to get it, the longer you have to make up the time you've lost.
Exactly, because they're not topping up the fuel tank, so it'll be a time field. They'll know exactly how long they need to, connect that probe and get fuel into the car. So it doesn't really matter. You're going to need X amount of fuel if it stays green to get to the finish. Doesn't matter whether you do it on this lap or the lap when the car's running out of fuel. It'll be the same time stationary.
And the one more thing to consider, which I was about to bring up, Calvin, is on one of those hurried stops like that, you run the risk of making a penalty. Somebody not wearing the face mask properly or speeding on pit lane. There's some other things involved that could happen.
Timmy Keane would love a yellow right now. He'd lose the gap, but it would take away this decision, certainly. And then everyone would be in the game, and he has a fast race car.
It's extraordinary how this race has come down to such close finishes in recent years. Consider that the Rolex 24 was once won by Hurley Haywood, Danny Younggeis, and Ted Field by a margin of 49 laps, 188 miles. I can't remember the last time we had
trouble here for
a race
Bruno's
decided
Porsche
by more than one lap. As you see the 59, speaking of Hurley Haywood, the famous Bruno's Porsche branding.
Something wrong there. He made no attempt to even try not to go off-road there. I don't know if it's blown up but he's just going straight. There's something wrong.
Yeah, they have rebuilt that car basically from scratch about twice in the pit lane.
He just gave up on that car totally. I mean, made no attempt whatsoever to keep it on the racetrack.
These guys are not committed to a full season at this stage. They're going to hit the next 3 rounds, we believe, at Austin, Barber, and Road Atlanta, and then they're working on some sponsorship packages, but no guarantee that they're going to see the full season. He seems to have speed again, so not quite sure what's up there.
We've officially covered 700 laps. At least the race leaders have. The record is 762 laps, but that was back in 1992 at Nissan R91 CP that I believe set the lap record at an astonishing pace back in the wild and crazy old horsepower days.
What a performance by this group here. Just incredible. Napleton Racing. They started the Cayman project back in 2009. They've actually built 70 of this style Inter-Series cars. They built Jack Baldwin's Cayman that won in World Challenge last year. They also won with Chris Gleason, and that's essentially the car that won a Mid-Ohio last year was the car that sort of like converted it, this GX spec car led by Ron Barnaby. They got Mike Colucci as the team manager here this weekend, an engineer. So great group of guys. David Donohue's won here overall. Shane Lewis is on a roll. He won in class at Dubai, the 24-hour race. He's had 4 victories. He said the last 4 races he's done, he's won. He said, I'd love to go one more and get that Rolex.
Less than 14 minutes to go now. Back to the battle in GT. Felipe Albuquerque in the number 24 Audi R8. Will he need to stop?
I think it's going to be close. I think they're within about 5 minutes, and they're certainly rolling the dice a little bit. But I'll tell you what, the man who has all of those permutations in his head right now, standing by with Jamie Howe.
Alex Job, this come down to the closing stages of this race. You have two cars that are still in this thing. How are both of them?
Very low on fuel.
Which one will have to come in first?
Well, I'm hoping that one of them won't have to come in. The other one I'm not sure about yet.
You're being very, very descriptive in your answers here. Is it the 24 or the 23 that's slowest?
Yeah, it's one of those.
All right. He's holding his cards close to his chest.
What a performance by this group. They had a GT win here back in '99, but since 1995, this team's had 67 sports car wins. So they now get the job done. They got 2 bullets in their gun from different manufacturers. An amazing performance from the whole WeatherTech team.
And as they run right now, they could get a 1-2 in GT.
Now hearing on the radio communication. No, now we're hearing that it may not be the case. We thought we heard that the 10 car may have been told to pit.
Now the pit is telling the car, stop. No, don't stop. Well, we're not sure. Yeah, I'm sure they know other teams are listening.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself as they did that, Montoya was right by pit entrance. I would have, if the team had been quick off the trigger, he may have pulled in then. That would have been a very sweet move.
Well, they've had other things to think about. How about this moment in the chicane?
Oh, that was dodgy.
Down the inside of a GT car.
At the 10 pits, the 01 has got it. Because they're the only ones who are in shouting distance. A.J. Allmendinger is too far behind. I think that the 01 can afford a trip down pit lane and still keep track position on the 60 even if he stays out. TK, what do you think?
Well, exactly. I mean, the 10 really is the wild card, because if the 10 can go to the end, they've been running quite a bit slower. So if they're saving fuel, Montoya you said Tim would want a yellow, which he would, to get into the pits and have a shootout. We're getting close to where if you go yellow, you're not going to get green again. So there's all kinds of different permutations here, and it's crazy to think that this could somehow slip away from target Chip Ganassi, Chip Ganassi with Felix Sabates. But we won't know until we know exactly how much fuel is on. I think we know that the 01 is going to have to stop as quick as they've been running. The 10 is the real question mark in my mind.
Yeah, the yellow, I think, gets him in the window of being able to stay out there and not need a trip down pit lane, TK. And but this is the big question mark. Does the 10 have enough? The 60 is not close enough to Montoya, even if they don't visit pit lane. This is the big one. Can they pull off what would really be a surprise victory? All of the rumbling and grumbling in the paddock for the last 5 days. Can Chevy pull it off? Here we see Mike Cullen, Chip Ganassi in communication here about the situation.
Well, this one in two. If the 01 and the 10 both stop, does the 60 need to?
There's enough gap that I think the 01 could still get out in front of the 60. So I think at this point, I think it's down to those two.
Yeah, this is a 2-horse race right now.
Now, if neither of them can make it, and they have to stop, and then you get a yellow, they're trapped behind the 60, who's too far back, and then you don't have time to go green again. So that's another one to think about.
But through all this and all these permutations, you saw Wayne Taylor, and he was smiling. You saw Chip Ganassi, and he was smiling. You saw Alex Job, and he was smiling. These guys have been doing this their entire adult lives, and they love it.
Not a hoping going on, it sounds like.
Well, the thing is, at this stage of the game, you just got to roll the dice. I mean, you have a reserve. It's not like you're just going to flat run out on the racetrack. You have a reserve. When you get to that reserve where the engine coughs, you switch to that other pump, Dorsey. You know how much time you got left. So,
you know, around here, when you hit that reserve, depending on where you are, you got to come in that next time around.
but this is why, when you see Wayne Taylor and Chip Ganassi smiling, they live for moments like this. They've had so many of them, but this is the game they play. It's high-stakes poker. It's at the top of the tree, and it is just brilliant. It's great to be in these situations year in and year out.
9 minutes to go.
They played it right to the last, and nobody yet knows who will win.
Think about it. Not only is this win at stake.
Well, you heard it there. Reserve light on, pit this lap.
Okay, here it goes. What I was starting to say is you've got Pruitt trying to tie Hurley Haywood. You've got Riley going for their 9th straight victory. There's a lot of, you got the BMW versus Chevy versus Ford battle. Lots at stake.
Lots at stake. I cannot believe that Chevy's going to get 8 more minutes of run time over this BMW. We know it's been burning fuel with the power it's been delivering here this weekend, but that is a huge delta.
Oh, yeah, and then there's this. The GT battle for second you're looking at, and third.
Well, that answers my question. The 44 clearly has been in major save mode if the 52 has been able to run him down like that.
Look at Rene Rast. He was driving for the car that he's right behind right now last year and took it to victory. Right now, he's been burning fuel. He and the 69 car, they made those pit stops. They topped up with fuel. They are hard charging right now. The 3 cars in front of him, Felipe Albuquerque, Marcus Winkelhock in the 2 Audis, and now Richard Leitz. Seems like the 23 must have made a pit stop because they're falling out of the top 5.
Yep, Damian Faulkner in the 23 Alex Strobe WeatherTech Porsche did make a pit stop and dropped back.
Albuquerque is really the wild card. I think he's actually stretched the lead enough that he could even afford a trip down pit lane and still maintain the lead. That's going to be the key. Can he get in and out of pit lane and keep the lead of this motor race?
Here comes the leader in class, the 24 WeatherTech Audi for a splash.
This is going to be tight.
So Alex has played his hand. It's up to the drivers now.
And now the race leader, Juan Pablo Montoya, pits at the Ganassi garage.
And that's Trevor Montgomery on the fuel rig there. He's putting in 4, 5, 6 seconds of fuel right now. It's going to be, that was 8 seconds of fuel going into the car, plus the 35 seconds or so down pit road here. So that's about, 43 seconds that they're going to give up on the racetrack. And Tim Keene on the radio reminding Juan Pablo Montoya, do not speed down pit lane here. We don't need that violation.
There was. The key was, Bob, they didn't cut it too close. Sometimes you see these guys take a splash and it's not enough. It doesn't matter. If the number 10 car doesn't hit pit lane, they're not going to get victory anyway, so make sure you have enough fuel to get to the finish.
Good call there. It's up to the 10 now. Can he make it?
Have another lead change.
And that is the 24 getting out in front of the 13, the 44, and the 52 for the GT lead.
That will be it. Wow, what a performance by Albuquerque. He stayed out on worn tires and spread the gap to the rest of this GT field. Now he has it and he has enough fuel on board. Great performance.
They're all bunched together. Now let's get more on the 10-car situation. The new race leader, here's Matt.
Bob, about 10 minutes ago, Wayne Taylor told me they were going over the calculations, and it was so close. They kept going back and forth. 5.5 minutes left. They just told him he's going to have to hit pit road for a few seconds of Sunoco race fuel. The fueler up on the wall, waiting for the 10 car to hit pit road.
Heard Simon call him in at this time. Watch the car here.
This is the race right here. Max Angelo, he ducks it down the pit lane. Put it back in the hands of Montoya for victory.
What's your pit speed?
Question is now, will they be able to maintain second over Allmendinger? That may be tight.
4 minutes, 50 seconds. Can Allmendinger stay out?
And if he can't, how important will that pit stop have been to clean the radiators but not take fuel?
Good point. It would have been awesome.
I don't think they would have won the race by taking the splash when they cleaned the rad, but I think they cost them second place potentially here today.
Okay, we're good for the end of the race. Watch the pit speed.
That is our record extending 74th lead change. As the battle continues on track in GT.
It's a great battle. Rene Rast in the APR Audi. Now up to third spot. Got the hammer down. Can he make any further progress through this field? Audis run 1, 2, and 3. What a performance. Rast is coming. Does he have anything for Albuquerque?
Boy, all these guys are out of time. They're skating around these GT cars like crazy. And they're giving it all they got. 3.5 minutes left.
24 car only took fuel on that last stop. So Rast's tires will be a little bit better. Remember, he took fuel and tires when he stopped a lap ahead of the 69 machine. So Rast's car may be a little bit healthier here, but he's only got 3.5 minutes on the board. This is the battle for the win in GT right in front of you. Here comes our overall leader, Montoya.
Oh, meanwhile, Wayne Taylor.
He lives and breathes this. He really does.
You thought he was joking when he said he might have a heart attack watching this race unfold?
Maybe not.
I think I saw about 6 different symptoms right there in that one picture.
He is so passionate about his racing, so passionate about his son's careers, and he wants to represent his new partners in the best possible way. He was gutted when they qualified 12th the other day. Said, this is unacceptable. We put too much effort into this program to be qualifying 12th, but what a rebound.
Juan Pablo held up a little bit between this big fight going on in GT. Nowhere for him to go as all the cars are in front of him are fighting for position. 2.5
minutes to go, and the leaders in the overall and the GT class are running within a few feet of each other.
Question is the 13 Winkelhock, does he have enough fuel to get to the finish? He is really stretching it right now. He's on his 27th lap.
We expect a white flag next time by.
He's on fumes.
And if the 01 gets around them, they'll have to go 1 lap less, which is going to happen right here. But something to consider, unlike when you have Audi Sport running the LMP cars, Dr. Ulrich can say, hold position. But you've got the 13 that he can't really tell to not challenge the 24, because those are individual teams that are fighting for individual glory. Interesting.
Here comes Rene Rast with the fresher tires. I think he's going to finally get by up here.
I think he's going to have a run here. He's been really good on the brakes down into the chicane up against the Ferrari. Now he goes Audi versus Audi. Winkelhock protects to the inside. Does he have enough? Tries the over and under, does Rene Rast. Difficult to do right here. He's got to really key on a good clean exit here out of the chicane. Winkelhock, though, has the hammer down and actually gaps him. Turns the tables.
Winkelhock did a really good job on the second part of that chicane and got a better exit shot.
Felipe Albuquerque continues to lead in the WeatherTech Audi. DTM star won the race of champions up against the likes of Michael Schumacher, first to prominence.
The white flag waves over Juan Pablo Montoya. 1 lap to go here at the Rolex 24, and everything is still up in the air.
What a performance, Dorsey.
Boy.
He has been on fire. The car has been on fire. Everyone has played their part. May Rojas, Scott Pruitt, going for another championship and another overall win. Charlie Kimball did a couple of stints during the course of the night, but Montoya has been the man. He's been on fire.
Long time since I've seen such a dominant car in a race from the beginning of a 24 all the way throughout. But that car is solid.
Battle for second. Here comes Rene Rast down the inside. Deep on the brakes. He's got fresher tires. Can he make it stick?
This will work because the next is a left-hander.
Yep, he's got the line now. And the position.
Final lap of this race, though. He's only got about half a lap to try and catch Albuquerque for the win.
Audi, Audi, Audi in GT.
What a performance by those guys.
Boy, oh boy, I want to tell you.
GT has been fantastic race.
So it's looking like another set of Rolex watches for the boys from Ganassi. There they are, Pruitt and Rojas on the pit wall, Charlie Kimball behind them. The other boys have watches. They'll just add to their jewelry boxes. But for Charlie Kimball, who came to this race never having shared a race car before, never having driven with a roof over his head, and never having driven at night, as the 13 slows in the battle for GT.
Answers that question.
Out of fuel. Charlie Kimball will pick up his first watch as Juan Pablo Montoya brings Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabatis and their BMW Riley to victory at the Rolex 24 again. 5-4-8. And there is your winner in GT, Felipe Albuquerque in the WeatherTech Audi from Alex Job Racing. High fives all around.
What a performance. Scott Pruitt ties the legendary Hurley Haywood. This celebration donuts from Felipe. What a great day for that team. Audi are here. 1-2 for Audi. It looks like Wilkins jumped up into the third spot with Winkelhock running out of fuel.
Audi, Ferrari in GT.
That's a lonely trip home with that 13 out of gas on the last lap.
Marcus Winkelhock, a GT class world champion, gave it everything he had. And there's your winner in GX. The Napleton Porsche Cayman in the hands of David Donahue has driven a long, long time to end this race. will pick up the first victory in the new class.
Not a mark on that car, front to rear, side to side. These guys have done their job.
That came off the Napleton showroom floor. What a performance by David Donahue and that whole group. David was pulling double duty here this weekend at DP as well. Great job.
And so the results will be tabulated. Yet another dramatic Rolex 24 is in the books, but we still have to hear from the conquering heroes, and we'll do that in Victory Lane at Daytona in a moment.
They're coming out of the hills to conquer the world.
You think your little Euro trash ride can beat my American muscle?
John Reap and his Mullet Mafia pit muscle against import in an epic 3-round battle for a $10,000 paycheck.
He's gonna ram that American muscle all the way down your throat. Don't mess with rednecks, man.
Are you faster than a redneck?
Bring it on.
Catch a special preview after the trucks race, February 22nd, only on Speed.
15 manufacturers, 24 races, 162 race cars, 489 drivers, over 100,000 laps, nearly 300,000 miles. One tire manufacturer. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence.
Racing cars and stopping Alzheimer's disease? Actually, it makes perfect sense. Because whether you're a race car driver, a roadie, or a rocker, Alzheimer's can happen to you. I'm Brian Johnson, and I'm a driver for the most powerful group in the fight, the Alzheimer's Association. Donate today to the Highway to Help and get us across the finish line just a bit faster.
February 8th, 5 NASCAR heroes receive the sport's greatest honor. The first back-to-back champion, a driver turned owner with an eye for talent. The sport's first superstar, a champion that never backed down, and a man who revolutionized the pit stop. See Baker, Owens, Thomas, Wallace, and Wood enshrined. The 2013 NASCAR Hall of Fame induction ceremony, February 8th at 7:30 Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
Every single hour of every single day, people are renting movies.
This is the time to get into the DVD rental business.
It's a no-brainer.
DVD rentals are an $8 billion a year business, and 1 in 3 movies are now rented from DVD kiosks.
It sells itself.
Get in on the action now with DVD Now, your own DVD rental kiosk business.
Wish I would have done it years ago. The potential for growth is huge.
Go online right now to www.dvdnow.net to reserve your place in the next DVD Now webinar.
They teach you what you need to know.
I do believe anybody can do it. It's very easy. No degree required. Of all the things that I've done in my life, yes, this has been the easiest.
I only have to work 2-3 hours a week. I'm actually making money while I sleep.
Are you ready to learn how to build your own network of DVD rental kiosks? Go online right now to dvdnow.net to reserve your place in the next free, no-risk DVD Now business ownership webinar. Opportunities are limited and filling up fast. Time is running out, so you must act now.
I love DVD Now. I love them.
Welcome back to Daytona, where the 2013 Rolex 24 was another dramatic shootout to the very end. Time to hear from the winners. Let's get down to Victory Lane and Chris Neville.
I believe the 10 car would have to come in and pit in 10, allow them then to get the lead and win by 21.
Well, Chris is waiting in Victory Lane. They have to get the car in.
Tight turn down there, and there's too many people in the
I was going to say, they have to unload the bus before it goes back to being a race car. JP looks fresh as a daisy in there.
It's tough.
Well, the distance covered.
Here we go. We got it finally rolling.
There you go. 709 complete laps, 2,524.04 miles. And now Scott Pruitt and Memo Rojas ride the fenders into Victory Lane here. What a moment. And I'm sure as often as the Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates crew has done this, it just never gets old.
Pruitt just laid across the hood, gave the windshield a kiss.
Well, a guy like Scott, you know, you have to be wondering whether he's thinking, you know, how many more of these am I going to see at 52 years of age?
It's absolutely amazing what, you know, what kind of shape he keeps himself in, and his desires never dwindled to be a winner.
It's like his wine, that he keeps getting better.
74 lead changes. That is a new unofficial record. Now it's time to party. And out come the flags. 22 nations represented in this year's driver lineup at Daytona.
Well, now we got a car and some drivers down here, Bob. These guys up on the car. This team, 5 wins in the last 10 years that they've been running. Scott Pruitt up on the hood of the 01 right now. Hey, Scott, can we get you to come down here with that bum ankle? 5th win, buddy. You are now tied in the record books with Hurley Haywood. How does that feel?
It's unbelievable. I mean, to get the Telmex BMW to victory lane, all the guys did a terrific job. I mean, you look at what we've been able to achieve. It's been nothing short of incredible, and I've been just so proud to be a part of it with Chip and all the guys. And again, those guys make it happen. They just do an incredible job.
Yeah, this group of great drivers behind them. We've got Charlie Kimball up here, the rookie on the team. This team has won this race with so many rookies over the years, so you've got to be pretty excited about your chances coming in, just knowing that fact.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I mean, the whole Chip Ganassi racing team, the 01, the 02, these guys do such a good job all year. I mean, 3 back-to-back-to-back championships is a big credit. I just had to come in and learn and not get into too much trouble and let them keep us in the race.
And Memo Rojas up here, a reigning champion from last year with Scott Pruitt. And Memo, you guys get your 3rd win. That's got to feel great.
It's amazing. It's unbelievable. You know, we worked so hard. It was a tough race last year for us, and you know, coming from 2012 season, we set our goals really high, and my hats off to this team, to all my teammates, and Telmex Ganassi Racing, because you know they did a hell of a job.
Juan Pablo Montoya down on the end. Did those last couple hours of work in the car, and Juan, last time you were in victory lane was back in 2008 here. I asked you last year if you minded coming and doing this race every year, and you kind of said, yeah, it's all right, but it's got to feel pretty good to be here.
It feels great, you know, in this car, in the 01, you know, the Telmex Target, I've been on it 4 times. I got 3 wins in a second, so I can't complain, you know. Everybody at the Chip Ganassi Racing keep doing an amazing job, and it's always fun to come like this.
And I'm looking around for Chip Ganassi down here, but there's such a big crowd. Hard to. Oh, here he is. He's way back up here in the back. Going to try and squeeze in here real quick and see if I can get with Chip. Chip, what a run for you guys. 10 years in a row running this race. You guys have won it 50% of the time.
I'll tell you, Chris, my hat's off to Mike Hall and the guys in Indianapolis. They're the guys that really deserve the credit. You know, I'm just the guy that gets to put it all together. And, you know, I'm the guy that's got my name on it, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people on this team that do a lot of hard work. I want to thank our sponsors, Telmex and Target, of course, all the Target people in Minneapolis, Telmex people in Mexico City. Thank you for everything you do for us. You made this victory possible. We had all our drivers here. We had two bullets in our gun when we started this thing, and we ended up with only 1 at the end there, and it was a great day.
The only team that has won this race more times is Brumos. Jamie?
And we have big celebrations happening now for the number 24 Audi from WeatherTech. Felipe Albuquerque took the car to the checkered flag. Felipe, you got out of the car. You kept saying this is unbelievable. What was the most unbelievable part?
I jumped on the car. We knew that would be almost impossible. We were 1 lap down, and it was like 2 hours to go. And I was already really tired, but let's go. Why not? And the things came to us, and it was just perfect. We had a little bit of problems with the gear, so I said that's it. And then in the end, the strategy was just perfect. When I just had jump in front of the both Audis, they were really quick and they could risk more. And the last lap was just crazy. It looked like so hard, the last corners, but made it safe.
We saw how hard you were pushing Oliver Jarvis. Lots of success in DTM, but coming in and running this R8 at the 24 Hours of Daytona, what was the experience like?
It's been fantastic, but big thanks to this little guy here. He's only short, but what a guy. He pulled us through them last 2 hours. Fabulous job. Big thank you to the team, Alex Job Racing, WeatherTech. It's been a superb weekend. Just a big thanks to all the guys that made it happen.
Dion von Moltke, you've been pushing hard the last couple of years racing here in the state. A lot of training went into this, a lot of preparation. What does this win mean to you?
I can't put it in words. Like Ollie said, the team was just terrific. Felipe, I've never seen such a great drive in my life before. That was unbelievable. And the teamwork, the chemistry, my co-drivers, WeatherTech, the Audi R8 worked perfectly. It lasted the whole race. And it was just unbelievably quick at the end, so I can't put it into words.
Eduardo Matara, you've raced the R8 before around the world. Coming to Daytona, though, put this victory into words.
Well, fantastic. I've got no words. So much stress towards the end, and Felipe did a fantastic job. I mean, he drove a fantastic race. Thanks to all the guys, the crew, the engineers, they did a fantastic job. The strategy was awesome, was impressive, and only with such a great fantastic crew, we could do this victory, so thanks.
Certainly a team effort. Congratulations, guys. Matt Yoakum.
And across the paddock here with the Napleton team, David Donahue, brand new class. Most guys only dream about winning this race once, but now you're second one. What does this mean for you?
This is fantastic. I've struggled the last couple of years, and my last win was the 09 win here, and this one was really different, because we could pace ourselves on that one. It's like I had a gun to my head for right to the checkered flag. So it's all thanks to Napleton, the guys behind me. Napleton Porsche did a fantastic job. They're a premier Porsche dealer, and their level of preparation just transcended right into the race team. And we came out with a superior car, and it showed from the drop of the green flag and even at the roar. I mean, we were the ones to catch.
And right alongside Shea Lewis, you shook the rust off of the 24-hour Dubai. Your last 4 starts, you scored a win. Now you're 5 for 5.
I know it's been an awesome month. Winning 2 24-hour races in 1 month, but nothing sweeter than winning the Rolex here. Great group of guys, as David said, the Napleton group. Awesome guys, awesome guys. Thank you guys, right here. Thank you.
And Jim Norman, real quick, describe what it means to win here at Daytona.
Well, this is, I've been coming to this race since I was a little boy, dreaming about being here with my heroes, and finally it's a dream come true. Not just to be with them is one thing, guys like Shane and David, but to actually win, truly an amazing dream come true.
And Nelson, brand new class. It only happens one time that someone can become the first winner. Describe what this means for you and your racing resume, and for this whole group.
Well, it means a lot for me, not just for me, also for my country. It's the first victory that any Venezuelan driver here, so I'm so happy. Thanks to Napleton, Jim Norman, who called me, and he bring me aboard. I'm so happy with the team. They gave us a great car, an awesome job from my teammates.
Special win. These guys are like one big family down here, Bob.
And here's a note. First win for everybody in that crew except David Donahue. First win for each of the drivers in the winning GT car. And for Scott Pruitt, his record-tying 5th overall win in Daytona Prototype. Also his record-extending 40th career Rolex victory. More to come.
Come in.
Got the coffee?
That was fast.
We're out of here.
I'll have these.
This computer is so slow. This may take a while. I need to get a new one.
Fix it online at PCmatic.com.
PCmatic.com?
PCmatic is a free download. It boosts performance and a lot more. That's PCmatic.com. PCmatic can make this faster, but it shows you also have a virus.
Can PCmatic get rid of the virus too?
Yes, and PCmatic sees this PC is also freezing, right?
It's slow, and I have to restart it a lot.
PCmatic will fix all that with a click of a button.
Wow, that was easy. PCmatic made the computer faster, and the virus is gone.
PCmatic also improved download speeds.
Can PCmatic keep my computer running this way?
PCmatic works in the cloud and sends a report to your inbox.
Thanks to PCmatic, we don't need a new computer. The flowers are in the house.
PCmatic, great for home and business. Go to PCmatic.com today for a free download. That's PCmatic.com.
Monster Energy Supercross Anaheim, Saturday, 10:30 Eastern, live on Speed.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway after a dramatic and thoroughly exciting running of the 2013 Rolex 24 at Daytona, kicking off the Grand Am Rolex Series for 2013. Our Sunoco moved the race, the final pass for the lead on a day that saw a record 74 lead changes. Juan Pablo Montoya ran down Max the Axe Angelelli to take the lead. He would give it up, but then get it back on final splashes for fuel and bring it home. Scott Pruitt, Memo Rojas, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Charlie Kimball. Scott Dixon entered in that car, but he did not drive it. And here are the unofficial results for the GT category, as Felipe Albuquerque, Oliver Jarvis, Eduardo Mortara, and Dion von Molke lead a 1-2 for Audi and came so close to a 1-2-3 if the number 13 car had just a little bit more fuel. And in the GX category, Shane Lewis, Jim Norman, David Donahue, and Nelson Kanash take the 75th class victory at Daytona for Porsche. Here's our Royal Purple outperformer of the race. Congratulations to the WeatherTech team from Alex Job Racing, winning the GT category, and Felipe Albuquerque put an exclamation point on it with some very cool donuts. I don't know how many Audis have done that in worldwide racing recently. Let's go to Chris Neville.
Well, Max Angelelli finally getting some fluids in him after hopping out of the car and being pretty worn out there. But Max, you guys worked so hard. You finally got that track position on that last caution. But when Juan Pablo went by you, you still didn't give up the fight.
No, never. I told everybody in my team I would never give up, and they know me. But look, this is the Velocity Worldwide team. They made it happen, not me. They made it happen with pit stops and strategy just absolutely perfect. So it's their win.
Wayne, we've gotten so used to seeing the emotions on your face over the years. Once again today, we just saw you filled with emotions. Is it tough to see this team and what happens, or are you at least kind of happy after last year getting out in the first 30 minutes of the race? At least you're starting out the season strong.
Really happy. Coming into the season, we've all been excited, with this new partnership and Team Chevy, and having Ryan Hunter-Ray winning the championship last year, driving with me back in 2006, coming with us. Max, of course, is my family, who's part of everything, and then Jordan coming on board this year, and there was so much expectation, and there was so much drama coming into this race with horsepower and this and that and whatever. In the end, I felt that this team did more than anybody else. I don't remember one pit stop that we didn't beat everybody, and everybody just executed perfectly, and we were just about there.
Great run for the IndyCar champion, and Jordan Taylor, who's taken the baton from his brother Ricky. Bob?
Outstanding effort. That crew has a lot to be proud of. There's a look back at some of the celebrations. Young drivers winning their first at legendary Daytona. We'll be back.
On the track or in your car, there's no room for error. When it comes to your car's protection, make it WeatherTech. Driven to perform.
You test drove it. You bargained for it. And now you care for it every single day. When you drive, it protects you. It transports you in style. The only thing that lies between you and the road are your tires. Continental Tire. Innovative technology, driving confidence.
They were mavericks, innovators, and champions. Don't miss the Hall of Fame biography of NASCAR's class of 2013.
The Rolex 24 at Daytona is presented by Rolex, official timekeeper of the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Brought to you in part by WeatherTech Automotive Accessories. Shop WeatherTech.com today. And by Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. It's been a long day of racing here at Daytona International Speedway, literally an entire day. The Rolex 24 is now in the books. Let's start wrapping things up now by joining our colleagues Brian Till, Tommy Kendall, and Justin Bell at our Speed Infield studio.
Well, thanks, Bob. I think the word that I have for this is epic. Tommy used it earlier, but also privilege. Privileged to be a part of history, watching Scott Pruitt win his 5th overall win here at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and just it just doesn't seem to ever get any better. Every year we talk about how deep the talent is, and it does not disappoint. And this year, I said it in the open at the very beginning of the show, it seems like, guys, this year the talent in both the teams and the drivers, and I'll throw in manufacturers now with Audi jumping in the deep end of GT, it just doesn't get any better.
Well, it's one of those things. At any moment of the race, you could look down the screen, and it was just stacked and stacked and stacked with talent. But for me, you know, Scott Pruitt winning his 5th, but the way they use Montoya, you know, here's a guy who's won Indy, he's won Monaco, he's won race after race after his 3rd Rolex. For him, it needed to matter, and Chip Ganassi and Tim Keen realized that, put him in that role, and turned him loose. Flawless performance. Wayne Taylor was just as flawless, just not quite enough speed.
And if our sport of sports car racing is to not just survive but prosper in an era when there's so much options for a viewer, it has to be entertaining. And entertainment has to be of a caliber that captures the imagination of not just current fans but future fans. And if anyone heard of, watched, or will tweet or Facebook about how good this Rolex 24 was, we will grow our sport. And I think that's, for me, one of the biggest take-homes. All the technical stuff's great, but the sheer entertainment of this race will guarantee we're going to grow.
You talk about growth, just think of 2014 when the American Le Mans Series joins the Rolex Sports Car Series into one, and you think about the potential growth that is available there, and races like we saw here today. You put those two together, 2014, the rest of the future looks very bright indeed. Bob?
All right, thanks very much, guys. Time for final thoughts up here in the booth. Why don't we start with you, Calvin?
Well, it was a fantastic race, a real duel as we expected, and a real shootout at the end. For the 01, it was their race to lose, and they didn't lose it. Perfect execution. Juan Pablo Montoya was on fire, ably supported by the rest of the boys there. The 10 team, well, they had the perfect race, but it wasn't enough today. And for the 60 team coming back to try and repeat, they had that massive problem. They dug deep. They got back on that lead lap. They didn't quite have enough speed. They finished without that final splash for fuel, but I think they had to throttle A.J. Allmendinger back, so he really wasn't a factor at the end.
You know, everybody applauds the winner all the time. I want to applaud the other teams that kept this good race. I mean, we had a team that was dominant, a car that was faster than any other car. But through strategy, we had a really good race because these guys stayed in the game. They never gave it up. Both classes, excellent race.
A couple of years ago, when Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabatis won this race, I wrapped up the show downstairs by saying, if you want to win the Rolex 24, go dig up Chip Ganassi. Those guys simply know how it's done. They are back in victory lane, extending their record for success in this race. But I also have to think a little bit about Audi, who put on such a tremendous show this weekend. Racing always changes, and I think the German brand is bound to be a force in the future. We hope you've been with us for all of our 15 hours of live speed coverage of America's premier long-distance endurance sports car race. For our entire speed crew and my colleagues Calvin Fish, Dorsey Schrader, Brian Till, Tommy Kendall, Justin Bell, Jamie Howe, Chris Neville, Matt Yoakum, and Andrew Marriott. Don't forget, coming up tonight, Mario Andretti visits with Adam Alexander at Speed Center, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, to announce the Speed Performer of the Year. Congratulations not only to the drivers who will win a Rolex watch for being tops in their class at the Rolex 24, but for each and every one of the 56 cars that started this race, their drivers and crews. Being here at Daytona racing the Rolex 24 is a privilege. I'm sure they'd tell you getting to the finish itself is a victory. We'll leave you with a look at some of the video highlights of the race just run. For all of us at Speed, I'm Bob Varsha. So long from Daytona International Speedway.
Everything had a purpose in planning this event. Everything, all the planets aligned just right, the sun set just right. Everything happened as if it was meant to be.
Green, green, green. All right, green flag. The green flag is go!
Antelope Valley is sick. Dude, they freaking finally are stepping up and letting the course get all rutted up and hammered. When it's gnarly and not the track isn't consistent, it makes racing really good.
It has the smooth, hard pack, tight corners, and then you come around and it's super high speed and goes into like sand and ruts and loops and holes. I mean, it's awesome. I think it's one of the best tracks.
I'm excited. I think there's going to be some exciting racing here in Antelope Valley. It's the last round of the Torque Series. We're at the Rick Huseman Cup race. And Rick was a monster athlete, and, you know, he was a friend of ours, and, you know, we're here to support.
Hey, you know, Rick and Jeff were awesome in World of Short Course to me. Rick came through the ranks of Pro Light. He skipped Pro 2, went right to Pro 4, and he changed Pro 4. The way Pro 4 is where it is right now is because of Rick Huseman. He had his own style. I mean, no one did it like him.
you do have the fastest, a new track record. What does that mean to you?
That means we got a new record to break.
It was crazy because we had just wrapped up the championship in Texas, and
it just kind of took the wind out of everyone's sails, knowing that something that tragic had happened on such a happy day.
I mean, the whole racing industry, especially off-road, just melted.
When his accident happened, it was devastating.
Someone posted "Rest in peace, Rick Huseman," and my mom read it, and she's like, "That can't be right." And so then it completely changed the mood of what was going on.
It was really tough on me and my family. They're in the same stage of life that we are. They're trying to make racing work. They have young kids, and to see that all torn apart is just heartbreaking.
Even to this day, it's hard to talk about it, and I guess it's cool just to be out here, know that Rick's looking down on us, and know that we're racing for him.
This weekend is really about honoring the memory of Jeff and Rick Huseman. We put together a couple great Cup events, the Traxxas Cup presented in memory of Jeff Huseman, and then of course the Rick Huseman Cup, which is presented by Peak. And doing that in the memory of Rick and Jeff, we put a good stamp on it this weekend.
We're here for the Huseman Memorial Golf Tournament. Out here having some fun, remembering Rick and Jeff. So we're out here with everybody, just golfing, kind of messing around before the weekend. It's all for Rick and Jeff.
Oh, Huseman was a teammate to me, and he was one of those guys that always did everything different. I kind of want to be the same way, and to look at somebody that doesn't like to do anything like anyone else, that's somebody to look up to and to be a champion. That's what he was, so it's good.
Remember his legacy, and this whole weekend's for him.
Hey, how we doing? How about this day out here for Rick, huh? Yeah. This is pretty awesome. We got a great course. We got great weather. We got a